Have you ever said no to something, and not because you couldn't do it, but maybe because you were afraid that you might fall? Maybe it was going to the grocery store, going for a walk, meeting friends, or even crossing an icy parking lot. Well, here's the thing. Sometimes the biggest thing Parkinson steals isn't your balance, it's your confidence. Because once you stop trusting your body, you start questioning everything. Should I go? Should I stay home? Should I walk there? Should I ask for help? And little by little, your world gets smaller. It starts to shrink. So today, we're going to talk about Parkinson's and the fear of falling. Not just the fall itself, but the fear before it, the hesitation, the second guessing, and the quiet ways that it can start making decisions for you. And stay with me because I'm going to give you one sentence that I think every person living with Parkinson's needs to hear about confidence. Because confidence does not come back the way most people think it does.
Welcome to Living with Parkinson's. The good, the bad, and the reality. Real talk, real life, real community with Bryce Perry. Let's begin.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the broadcast. If you're new here, my name is Bryce, and I was diagnosed with Parkinson's at the age of 40, and I've been living with it now for almost 16 years. Now today we're going to talk about something that I think a lot of us feel, but maybe don't always say out loud, and that's the fear of falling. Now, a really quick but important note. If you've had a fall and you've hit your head, have severe pain or, weakness or anything that feels wrong, please get medical help. Don't just sit there thinking, Bryce said confidence matters, so I'm just going to confidence my way down the stairs. No. Confidence is helpful, but gravity is undefeated. So please be smart. But with that said, the fear of falling can become a problem all in itself. Because sometimes Parkinson's does not have to make us fall to change our life. Sometimes it only has to make us afraid that we might. So before we go any further, drop the word confidence in the comments if you've ever skipped something because you were not sure you trusted your legs that day. Just drop confidence. Because somebody else, I'm telling you right now, will be reading those comments and they need to know that they're not the only ones. Okay, let's get right into this. And so I broke this into a few parts. Here's part one is the fear starts before the fall. Now, a lot of people think fear of falling only starts after a bad fall. Sometimes it does. Most, it happens. One fall can shake you. It can make you question your balance, your strength, your judgment, and your independence. But sometimes the fear starts before the fall. It starts with a near miss, or a stumble, or freeze, or a turn that doesn't go the way you expected it. One moment where your body says, not today, and your brain says, that was close. And that one close call can stay with you. It really can. And the next time you go walking through that same doorway, you remember it. Next time you turn too quickly, you think about it. The next time you step off a curb, you hesitate. And before long, you're not just walking. Now you're monitoring every step. You're watching your feet. You're watching the floor. You're watching the furniture. You're watching everybody around you. And that is exhausting. Because walking, it used to be automatic. Right? You didn't have to have a committee meeting before crossing the living room. But with Parkinson's can turn something automatic into something you suddenly have to think about. It happens all the time. Now, let me give you a practical tip. Don't ignore a near miss. But also, don't let one near miss become the prediction of your whole future. Ask yourself what happened. What really happened? Were you rushing? Did you turn too fast? Were you carrying too much? You're looking for information because a near miss is not proof that you can't do anything anymore. A near miss is feedback, and feedback gives you something to work with. Panic tells you to stop. Curiosity asks, what can I change? And that matters. Okay, here's part two. Fear changes the way you move. You see, once fear shows up, it can start changing everything you think about moving. You start taking shorter steps. You look down more. You grab the railing tighter. You hold on to countertops. You reach for shopping carts like they're emotional support vehicles. And listen, some caution is smart. There is nothing wrong with using a railing. There's nothing wrong with using a cane or a walker or walking sticks or a mobility aid if your healthcare team recommends it. There is nothing wrong with asking for help. Safety is not weakness, but fear can sometimes make us stiffen up, right? We tense our shoulders, we hold our breath, we rush because we want to get the scary part over with. And sometimes that makes movement feel even harder. One thing that helps me is giving turns their own moment. What do I mean? Well, I don't try to walk and turn and think and carry something and answer questions all at the same time. Because apparently multitasking is now an extreme sport. If I'm turning, I'm concentrating on it. I slow down first, then I turn one thing at a time. Now that sounds simple, but simple is not useless. Sometimes simple is what keeps the whole thing from turning into a yard sale. Another tip is reduce distractions when movement feels difficult. So if you're walking through a tricky area, stop. If you're talking to somebody, stop talking. Stop the conversation for a moment or put the phone away. Do not try to carry 6 grocery bags because you're determined to prove that you still can. Make 2 trips. Yes, it's annoying, but it's exercise. And yes, younger you may have carried everything in one trip while balancing coffee, while opening the door with your elbow. And you know what, though? Younger you was also reckless and apparently had no concern for lower back maintenance. We're wiser now, aren't we? Or maybe we're just more supervised. Okay. Okay, let's move on to fear, or part number 3. And part 3 is fear shrinks your world. Now, this is where the fear of falling becomes more than a balance issue. It starts to shrink your world. And it can happen so quietly that you don't even notice it at first. You stop going to crowded places. You avoid stairs. You skip the restaurant because the tables are too close together. Scooching isn't easy. You stop walking outside when the sidewalks are icy, or you turn down invitations. And not because you don't want to go, but because you're afraid of what might happen if you do. And sometimes you don't even say that. Instead, you say things like, I'm tired, don't feel like it, maybe next time. But underneath that, there may be another sentence, if you were honest with yourself, and that is, I don't trust my body today. And that's hard to admit because fear of falling can feel embarrassing. It can make you feel older than you really are. It can make you feel dependent. It can make you feel like Parkinson's is making decisions and you don't get to vote. And this is where I want to give you one more of the most important tips in this episode. And this is huge, and I really want you to listen to this very carefully. Do not stop doing everything. Shrink the challenge instead. What do I mean by that? Well, for example, don't go to the grocery store on a Saturday afternoon when it's packed. Go during the week, go early in the morning when it's quieter. Don't stop walking because you fell one time. Instead, shrink it. Walk to the mailbox. Walk 1 block. Walk inside if somewhere safe. Don't cancel every social event. Choose the one with the easy parking, the good seating, and people who understand. So adjust the challenge. Don't hand your whole life over to fear, because the danger is not only falling. The danger is slowly becoming a spectator in your own life. And nobody wakes up one morning and decides, today, I want to make my world small. It happens one no at a time. One no at a time. So one avoiding an outing, one canceling a plan, one chair you stop getting out of. And I understand why, I really do. But protecting yourself should not become imprisoning yourself. And that's the line that we have to be really careful about. Well, if this is hitting home, would you do me a favor? Would you hit that like button? It's free. It's not for me, but it's for the person sitting at home thinking that they're the only one whose world is quietly getting smaller. The person who stopped going out and does not really know how to explain why. Your one click of that like button, that's all, one click. It's all you have to do. That helps YouTube put this video in front of them. So please do it for them. And if you're new here, if you're one of the new 2,000 subscribers that we've just gotten over the last few weeks, you're probably here. You probably saw one of our videos for the first time because Somebody else hit that like button. So let's pay it forward. Okay. Do it for them. Okay. Well, let's move into part 4. And part 4 is when you stop trusting your own body. Now, I think this may be one of the hardest part because your body's supposed to be the thing that you live in, right? It's supposed to carry you. It's supposed to respond when you tell it what to do. But as you know, Parkinson's creates this disconnect. Your brain says move, and your feet say, we're currently reviewing that request. Your brain says turn, and your legs say, please allow 3 to 5 business days. And after enough moments like that, you start second guessing everything. Should I walk over there? Should I carry that? Should I go alone? Should I take the stairs? Should I ask somebody to come with me? And sometimes the fear itself makes that moment harder. Why? Well, when you're fearful, you tense up, right? You rush. You stop breathing normally. You look at an obstacle instead of where you want to go. And suddenly the whole thing feels bigger. One thing that helps me is saying it out loud, right? Like I'll tell Carmen, today is one of those days where I don't trust my legs. And that sentence changes the situation. And not because she suddenly takes over, and not because I want her to carry me around like a decorative pillow, but because now I'm not hiding it. Now she understands why I'm slower, why I may need a hand, why I may need to change the plan. And saying out loud makes the fear less lonely. So here's the tip. Tell somebody. Don't wait until you're angry, embarrassed, or halfway through a situation that feels unsafe. Say, I'm feeling unsteady today, or I need some more time. Can you walk beside me, or can we take the easy route? That's not giving up independence. That is using support to protect it. And there's a really big difference. All right, part number 5. And right after part number 5, we're going to get into Carmen's Corner. And then don't forget, I'm going to give you that sentence that everybody needs to know. Okay? So part 5 is making the environment work for you. Sometimes we talk about confidence as though it's only in your head. But the truth is, your environment matters. A dark hallway, loose rugs, clutter, poor footwear, a bathroom with nothing solid to hold on to. Those things can make fear worse because they make the risk feel real. And again, I'm not an occupational therapist or physiotherapist, but I do believe in making your space work for you instead of making every day an obstacle course. Take a look around. Are there things that you trip over? Are there areas where the lighting is poor? Do you have a clear path through the room? Would a proper grab bar or a rail or a shower seat or other safety supports help you? Talk to your healthcare team about what's right for you because sometimes confidence grows when the environment stops fighting you. And using equipment is not losing. It's not at all. I know some people resist mobility aids. I know they do because they think it means Parkinson's is winning. But here's how I see it. If a cane or a walker or a rail or some other support helps you keep going out, keep moving, and keep participating in life, then guess what? Then you're winning. Parkinson's is not winning. You adapted. And that's not surrender, that's strategy. A seatbelt does not mean you've given up driving. Glasses don't mean that your eyes have defeated you. And a mobility aid does not erase who you are. It may help you keep doing the things that make you feel like yourself. And that's a win in my book. So turn around your thinking. Turn around your thinking. All right. It is now time for Carmen's Care Partner Corner. Here's what Carmen, my wife, wrote for me to read to you today. One of the hardest things as a care partner is knowing when to help and when to step back. I've talked about that all the time. If I reach for Bryce every single time he stands up, I may accidentally send the message that I don't believe that he can do it anymore. But if I never offer help, I may miss the moment when he really needs me. And that is such a difficult line to walk. So I've learned to ask one simple question. Would you like a hand? Not, you need help. Not, be careful. Not, you shouldn't do that. But just, would you like a hand? Because that leaves the choice with him. It offers support without taking over. And sometimes that matters more than we even know. As care partners, fear can affect us too. We may have seen a fall. We may have caught them during a near fall. And we may be afraid that every time they walk across an icy sidewalk or go down the stairs, that they're going to do it again. But if our fear becomes constant warning, hovering, correcting, it can accidentally make their world even smaller. So I try to remember that my job is not to remove every risk from Bryce's life. My job is to help him live as safely and as fully as possible. And sometimes that means offering my arm. Sometimes it means moving something out of the way. And sometimes it means standing nearby and trusting him. Confidence can be fragile. We cannot force it back, but we can help protect it. Oh, all right. Well, thank you, Carmen. I really like that. Would you like a hand? It's just such a simple sentence, but it gives the person with Parkinson's a choice. And choices matter. Because when you already feel like Parkinson's is taking control of your body, the last thing you want to feel like is everybody else is taking control of your life. So support matters, but dignity matters too. And the best help is often help that does not make you feel helpless. Okay, that brings me to the sentence that I promised you. Okay, well, here it is. Confidence does not come back because you never fall. Confidence comes back because you stop letting fear make every decision. And that's the shift. You do not have to become fearless. You don't have to wake up tomorrow and suddenly trust your every step. You do not have to prove everything or anything. What you have to do is start collecting small wins. Walk to the mailbox. Go for coffee. Take the short walk. Go into the store for one thing. Let someone else walk beside you. Use the supports that help you. Every small win reminds your brain, I can still do this. Not everything, not perfectly, but this, today, right now. And that is how confidence begins to rebuild. Not through one giant brave moment, but through evidence. Little pieces of evidence that say, I went, I tried, I adjusted, I asked for help. I did not let fear make the whole decision. Now that does not mean taking stupid risks. This is not me telling you to go tightrope walking over Niagara Falls with a cane and a positive attitude. Please do not put that in the comments as my recommendation, right? The goal is not recklessness. The goal is not letting fear quietly remove everything meaningful from your life. And there is a difference between respecting risk and surrendering to fear. And sometimes we need help finding that line. And that's where your doctor or your occupational therapist or physiotherapist, your care partner, where they can help you. Because asking for help is not an admission that you're done. It may be the thing that helps you keep going. All right, let's bring this home. The fear of falling can start before the fall. It can change the way you move, and it will shrink your world. It can make you stop trusting your own body, and sometimes the environment around you can make the whole thing worse. But confidence can be rebuilt, not all at once, not by pretending you're not afraid, and not by taking unnecessary risks. It comes back through small wins. Better support, safer choices, clear communication, and refusing to let fear make every decision for you. Because Parkinson's does not always steal your balance first. Sometimes it steals your confidence. And then your world starts getting smaller. But you're still here. You still get a vote. And you can start taking pieces of that world back, one step at a time. All right. Lucky you. You made it this far, so you have officially unlocked today's Bryce-ism. And here it is. Parkinson's. Because apparently my brain and my feet are now in a long-distance relationship, and nobody remembered to exchange phone numbers. You know what? Some mornings my brain sends a message, and my feet reply 3 business days later. And then they mark that request resolved. It was not resolved. I'm still standing in the kitchen. Come on, what's going on here? Anyway, drop confidence in the comments if this one hit home, and tell me one thing that fear has made you stop doing. Or even better, Tell me one small thing that you would like to take back. Whatever it is, put it in the comments, please. Let's talk about it. Let's start a conversation because somebody else may read it and they may think maybe I can try to. And if you're not subscribed to the channel yet, please do. This is not just a channel, and I say it over and over again. It's not just a channel; it's a community. We talk about the real version of Parkinson's here, not the polished brochure version. Until next time, I want you to keep showing up. I want you to keep being real. And if your feet take 3 business days to answer, you tell them the request has been escalated to management, and you're the manager. And I want you to keep doing life today. I love you so very much, and I will see you on the next episode.